Hi,
Hello.
Angela. How are you? Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. So I loved your portrayal of Jessica in the house on the bayou. You give such an emotionally rich and raw and vulnerable, but also super relatable performance. So for those that don't know, tell them a little about A House on the Bayou and a little about your character, Jessica.
Thank you so much. That's really sweet. I play a woman who is in a relationship with a man who's now betrayed her. That's her husband. And the movie starts with her having just learned about the betrayal. So she's decided throughout the film that she's going to try to find a way to reconnect with her husband, try to keep their family unit together. They share a 13-year-old daughter. And so they go on vacation. She proposes this idea that they should go away together. In the process of that, she's meant to sell this home where they're going to stay, and we start to see a lot of things unravel in the day that they're at this new place.
Yeah. So you said in the previous interview that you have to be drawn in by a script in the first few pages, and you read a lot of scripts. So I'm curious about what drew you into Alex's script this time.
Well, it's funny. I think Alex's script is very much, and he's told me this, so this is what I can share it. It's very reflective of his life. And he also said that Jessica was the character that he would be in the story. So it means a lot. I think when writers write, it's like their diary. So once as an actor, I come into it and I see a story where I feel like I can bring something, bring life, and also be challenged and curious about it. Because I think roles are an opportunity for me to grow as a person, to live up to honoring the life that's written on the page. That's what drew me in, to play a mother, to play a woman who's in a relationship where there's clearly a lot of problems. And the betrayal is a byproduct of the problems in the relationship. So I was just curious to explore this.
So tell me a little about collaborating with Alex, but also with Lia McHugh, who plays your daughter, and then Paul Schneider, who plays your husband.
First of all, playing in this genre is really, really fun because you can take very normal things and make them extreme. So by looking at the extreme version, it's almost like being in a dream. And I love working with Alex. He's so kind. He's so available to collaborating and using your interpretation. So there's room. I think art doesn't have a right and wrong. It's simply about finding out, discovering, trying new things. And we really had the opportunity to do that. With Lia, I love Lia and Jacob, and we have this camaraderie every day. We hang out after work, we have dinner, we look at the next day's work. And it felt like camp, it really felt like this unit that we were together going on this journey. And with Paul, I think he's an incredible actor. I found it interesting because he wasn't so much part of that entire scenario, but his approach simply was about, I think this was a conscious choice on his end to not necessarily bond with us, which created that natural disconnect that happens with each other.
Wow. So what was it like filming in Slidell, Louisiana? I know it was a super quick shoot, but the weather was all over the place. But again, like you said, it was a summer camp kind of atmosphere. So tell me about some of your memories from filming.
I love Louisiana. I loved it so much. And we were on the Bayou, which was so beautiful. I'd never been to this part of Louisiana. And the crew just love the crew, love our sound department, wardrobe, everybody, camera department. I adored them. They were part of creating this, just as important as we are. And when you go to set every day working with such good people, we had each other's backs, in every situation to deliver the best of our work. And we had days sometimes when we had like a hurricane or tornadoes. I'm from Los Angeles. I don't know what that's about.
Right.
And our producers were amazing. They were like, we're not going to work today, we're going to take a break. We're just not, we're going to stop. But we made our days. Like, we didn't have any extra days. It was fantastic. I couldn't have been more grateful working around these good people. And I love New Orleans. If you've never really got to go, it's just, oh, it's the best. It's so full of culture and art and just
Great food.
good food. Yes.
For sure. So the film does say a lot about good versus evil, about karma. Do you believe in like the balance of that in the world?
Of course I do. I think that there are so many ways you could look at the story. I think that's why it's a fun horror flick, because it's not just about crazy, extreme things that happen that scare you. There is a real question about the choices we make in life and where we end up because of them, the people that we become. So,
do you believe in karma?
yeah, so going back to karma. That's really what the movie is questioning, isn't it? Sometimes we think bad things happen. Why is it happening? Sometimes it happens to better us or the greater goodness in us. And I think who Jessica is in the beginning of the film and who she becomes by the end are dramatically different.
So I read that you like to be on projects where you feel immersed in the world and immersed in the character. So how did you immerse yourself in this world of Jessica's?
Well, I think collaborating with Lia and Jacob and having the actual actors next to me to go, I'm going to live off of you. We're creating this together was a beautiful thing, because regardless of what's written on the page, I'm working with this actor. So we had the opportunity to build together. It almost felt like we were in theater and we were practicing and learning about things that are specifically personal in each other. So it was so fun kind of going on that and being surprised by what I discovered both in my imagination and with them.
Wow, that's incredible. So you've worked with some incredible people: Lisa Joy, Thadiwe Newton, Marion Cotillard. You're in the movie coming up with Richard Kind, who I adore. So tell me about some of your favorite and most giving scene partners and collaborators over the years.
Marion Cotillard, oh, I love her so much. We became sisters instantly. There's sometimes magic that happens on set that is not penetrable, that you just have this understanding on a soul level of who we are for each other and the honor in that story that we're telling. And it was instant with her. And I absolutely adore her as an actress, as a person, as a mother. And I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity to work with her. With Thadiwe, she's such a dear, close friend of mine. I love her so much. Lisa Joy is amazing, talent, person, and it's incredible what she did with Reminiscence, I think.
Yes.
It's to tell a story where you can always connect to the memories of your past and live as though the present happening right now is an amazing concept. I don't think it's ever really been done in the way that she did it. So I feel very fortunate working with such people collaborators. That's what you aim for. You want to surround yourself with good people all the time. And be good too.
Yeah. So have you had a favorite character that you've played? I know a lot of people point out Clementine, but have you had a favorite character?
I love Clementine. I have a few. I think Jessica is definitely a special character here, and just like King Night, just hanging out there with him. It's just really fun. It's such a funny, kind of sweet, heartwarming film. I think, with good lessons in it. So that was another fun character. I'm continuing to find.
Yeah, good for you. So all people are going to be watching this film coming up. What have you been watching or reading lately that you've been really into?
You know what? I just started a book club. And this book club, we have our first two books, The Alchemist and Midnight Library. Those are the two books. We have about a month to finish them. It's really fun. You know, I've never done that before, but I thought, it's autumn. How else can we spend this beautiful time but to be cozy with the fireplace, and eat books, and watch movies? So that's kind of what I'm reading. What do you?
What am I reading now? I'm still reading Seth Rogen's book. I have to balance out like the fiction with nonfiction. And so I had read, I don't even remember now. I'd read a very heavy book. And then I immediately jetted to the comedy section of the bookstore. I'm like, what can I get that's funny and light? And so that's what I picked up. I feel embarrassed now, but it's good. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your art, Angela. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for this. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
So much. Okay. Bye.
Bye.